Hey, welcome back. I was gonna say my fellow Venomites, but that's Man of the Year 1989's thing. I'm not gonna steal it.
Venom heads.
Welcome back to Venom X Elsa. I've lost track of the number, but it's a big. We're in the double digits now. Things are actually happening. Balls are rolling. Fights are battling. We left off on a bit of a cliffhanger there. A metal hand just punched through the icy prison that Elsa made. Who's it gonna be? We'll find out.
We'll find out? Wow.
If you want to email us your dad's credit cards, fanfic submissions, fan art submissions, we love those. Email us at fanficnight@orderoftheleague.com. You know what to do by now. Come on. You email us, you subscribe, you ring a bell or something. How does YouTube work?
You gotta click a fish and unsubscribe.
Click a fish and unsubscribe. That's what they say. This is Fanfiction Theater, a celebration of naive writing in all of its foibles, all of its flaws, all of its unintentional hilarity. It's...
Hello, 911.
All right, Chapter 11. Queen Elsa awoke surrounded by darkness. As soon as she opened her eyes, the memories flooded her mind, along with the guilt.
Eddie!
She yelled as the image of freezing his heart flashed through her mind. She began to move, but something was restraining her arms, keeping her from going anywhere. Eventually, her eyes started to adjust to the darkness, and she was able to see what was holding her back. Her hands were chained over her head, keeping her restrained in place. You really need your eyes to know that your hands are chained? Looking around the room, Elsa thought she was in a dungeon, but it just didn't add up. Sure, it was dark and cold, and yes, there were shackles holding her back.
Okay. Check.
But this could have been like any guy she dated in college, really.
Yeah.
Here anything.
But the chamber was far too large, and there was equipment and strange tools littered all around the room. Apparently, she was in a laboratory of some kind. Using her ice power, she attempted to freeze her shackles. She had performed a similar trick back when she accidentally froze Arendelle, and surely it would work again. However, much to her shock, her power didn't work on them. Taking a closer look at them, she saw that they were shimmering with some kind of strange force. You would think, with the shimmering, she would have noticed the shackle. Oh, well.
I'm afraid there's no escaping from those things, Your Majesty.
I like that everyone keeps confirming that she is Majesty.
Yeah.
Looking across the room, she saw Serpentine lighting torches to illuminate the room. As the room got brighter, Elsa saw him continue to speak to her without taking his eyes off of his task.
We all figured you'd try to use your ice powers to get away, and so the master enchanted those shackles.
After Serpentine lit the final torch, he slowly walked over to the queen and added,
Also, I'm not going to fall for the same trick twice, Queen Elsa.
Seeing the confusion on her face and deciding to play on it, he mocked,
I'm going to play on that. What's the matter, Your Highness? Don't you recognize me?
He slowly turned into his human form and asked,
How about now?
Causing Elsa to gasp when she recognized him.
Prince Hans?
Former prince, that is.
Hans corrected,
Thanks to you and your sister.
What happened to you, Hans?
She asked. Hans gave a sly smile and told her everything.
After you banished me back to my homeland, and then made sure that my family found out about my actions, my life became a literal hell on earth. I went from
How dare she teach him that there are consequences to actions? How dare she?
I went from being 12th in line for the throne to being cut off altogether. That wasn't even the worst part of it, though. No, not even close.
Hans's eyes shimmered for a few seconds, revealing his snake-like eyes. Then as they went back to normal, he continued,
What truly added insult to injury was the fact that I was disowned by my own family. My own parents had put me into prison and caged me up like I was some kind of animal.
like a snake,
Like
perhaps.
a snake, exactly. My own father said, never let him see the light of day again. Do you know what it's like to have your own father say that? I can assure you, Your Majesty, that it's not a good feeling. Feels bad, man.
He paused for a moment and then said with an evil smile,
Still, where my family rejected me, Tyrannus accepted me.
Tyrannus?
Elsa asked aloud. Probably not necessary to point out the aloud part, but hey, why not?
My master, he came to me on one night in my dreams and offered me a chance at redemption and, better yet, vengeance. He also promised me that if I agreed to serve him, then he would give me great power and the means to escape from prison. Of course I swore my allegiance to him, and then I became Serpentine. That was when the fun started.
Honey. Oh, honey, we've all had that deal made.
He taught me that with great power comes escaping from prison. When he said that, he changed back into a serpentine form and flickered his tongue.
His fork
Not flicked, but
tongue.
flickered.
Yeah, it's like a neon light.
He's like a displacer beast.
Of course, I had a score to settle with the guards and other inmates who made my life miserable there. You could say I took my new talents for a test run.
Man, he sure likes to talk, huh?
Yep.
He quickly extended his fangs when he made that last remark indicating what he meant to Elsa.
Get it? Is he?
But why, Hans?
She asks, still not understanding his new allegiance to Tyrannus.
Why not?
He shot back.
You see, Tyrannus is a very generous master, but a choosy one. He doesn't bestow these gifts on just anyone. You need to have the right motivation to join his ranks. That's why he chose Carnage and I. We both share a desire to cause destruction. And that's why he has chosen someone new to join us.
Someone new?
She asked aloud.
Card key.
But her eyes widened when she realized who Serpentine meant. Venom. It was never her that they were after. It was Eddie. Holy shit, he used a semicolon correctly. Suddenly her visions began to make sense. Tyrannus had his sights on Venom.
The master has the gift of seeing into the future. In fact, that's how he learned of Venom and Carnage to begin with. It was he who changed the coordinates.
Does that count?
It was
Does that
he.
count as it was Venom?
No. It's close. You can take a sip if you want to.
All right.
It just wafted the smell to your face.
Yes. Take a waft, people. Okay. It was he who changed the coordinates of the portal that sucked them in and brought them here. After their little scrap was interrupted by that avalanche with a capital
apparently Avalanche.
A.
Apparently Avalanche was a supervillain we didn't realize.
Or banned.
Or
Tyrannus managed to confront and recruit Carnage, but he just wasn't after one symbiote. He wants them both. Gotta collect all 6. Carnage is a psychotic maniac and the perfect addition to our little league. But the rage and frustration...
The addition to this complete project.
Why does he call it a little league?
right, it's
Our
like
little league team.
that's what I was picturing. Like It's like Carnage has one too many DUIs, so he has to go coach a little league team.
My theory is that they're just on the little league team. They are the players of the little league team.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's hear in the chat. Whose reality are we going with?
You can choose the canon, Little League. But the rage and frustration of Eddie Brock is what makes Venom the ultimate weapon.
No. We just watched a whole movie about the perfect weapon.
Yeah.
No, this is in the past, though.
Yeah, it's true. So in the future, Axon Ray will be the perfect weapon.
Yeah.
After whoever it was in 1991. I can't remember. Anyway.
He'll never join you. He's nothing like Carnage.
Elsa yelled at him, causing Serpentine to chuckle and say,
Oh, but I think he will.
I think that was more of a chortle than a chuckle. He quickly pointed to his heart, reminding her of what happened earlier. Serpentine continued.
Thanks to you freezing Eddie's heart for us. You unwillingly put our plan into play. Although the circumstances are very similar to when you froze Anna's heart.
Derivative, you might even
It's
say.
still not the same. Okay?
Uh-oh.
He
got
may
some mail.
not be the same Venom as when he first arrived in Arendelle, I grant you. But there's still darkness deep down inside him that's screaming to come out. Did you hear his song? Did you hear his cover of Godsmack? It's screaming. By freezing his heart, all of the good in him will die, and the Eddie Brock that you know and care for will be gone forever. Venom will be ours.
I guess we're changing scenes here.
Apparently. I have no idea who's talking.
It's Anna, apparently.
Okay.
Eddie, you awake, man?
A familiar voice broke through the darkness, causing Eddie Brock to slowly open his eyes. Once the blurriness began to subside, he remembered everything that happened.
Elsa!
He exclaimed as he tried to sit up. However, the strange pain shot through his body again, causing him to fall back onto the ground. He screamed and convulsed, causing everyone around him to panic. Seeing some residual ice over his heart, Anna gasped and answered,
His heart is frozen. This is not good, guys. Trust me. I know.
Eddie shook his head and said,
I'm okay. I just need to sit up for a second.
While Kristoff helped him sit up and leaned him against a nearby stone, Anna spoke again.
Eddie, there's something you need to know. While you were unconscious, some people found us. I don't know any delicate way to put this, but they know you.
Oh god, it's Spider-Man now.
Spider-Man?
It's Spider-Man.
Oh, it's that
Spider-Man!
Oh, that's Spider-Man.
Hello, Eddie.
An all too familiar voice greeted. Once he realized who it was, Eddie jumped up with renewed strength and roared,
Spider-Man!
As he stood face to face with his archenemy, he balled his fists and attempted to throw a punch, but he violently convulsed again and collapsed. Once he regained his composure, he asked Spider-Man,
I suppose you're here to finish me off.
To which Spider-Man replied,
No, I've got bigger fish to fry, and it appears we have the same enemy.
When Spider-Man finished speaking, Iron Man flew down and landed on the ground with his built-in jetpacks. As he slowly touched down, Anna, Kristoff, Olaf, and Sven looked to him with awe, then Olaf innocently asked,
I wonder if he'll give me a ride.
Once Iron Man's jetpacks cut off, he walked up to where Eddie and Spider-Man were and said,
I'm imagining him with jetpacks strapped onto his hands and feet. And he has
Just
to
little
cut
ones,
them
right?
off.
Like skates.
Yeah.
I located the other symbiote and his snaky friend. That's where we are.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Pretend that's my Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr. voice.
Okay.
That's good enough.
Where?
It's a Caucasian male.
Spider-Man asked.
Old rundown castle a few miles to the north of our position, and according to my scanners, they have a third person with them.
A narrator.
Elsa!
Anna exclaimed while Eddie nodded his head in agreement as he managed to get on his feet and ask,
How did you even get here? In this time period, I mean.
Without missing a beat, Ironman filled him in.
Not too long ago, after you and Carnage went through that portal, some strange things started happening in the world. Something unnatural. Darkness consumed the world unlike anything we've ever seen.
Off the charts. Never seen anything like it.
Total humans in the world completely absent.
And it was by some miracle that Ironman here had the intuition to double check the coordinates of the portal's destination and found where you two went.
Spiderman added in. I'm so happy I'm narrating this section. Ironman continued.
Ironman continued and continued and continued. After we found out where you
It's
went,
just
we
it's
knew
just
we had to do something.
it's just great because it's like everything that I say is just Spiderman said, Ironman said, said Spiderman.
Look, this would fall apart without you.
I just
After we found out where you went.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just do that.
So
And then
remember how
especially a
easily
soundboard clip.
replaceable you are.
We need
Next
just
time
this
we
person,
go
that
to
person said.
negotiate.
And we have to do a buttons for it was then and that was when too.
Yeah.
Because those come up.
Yeah, you
After
can.
we
Oh,
found out where you sorry.
sorry, just one more thought on this topic.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
What if?
Okay.
What if?
They ever came back?
Well,
What?
just go on. Just go on. Just keep going.
What?
Well, what if
That was a
What?
test.
Okay.
what if we had
Test
Michael?
of our camaraderie, and you failed.
We all thought you had something to say there, buddy.
Ironman continued.
After we found out where you went, we knew it had something to do with the darkness in our world. So I activated another portal and we jumped to the exact same coordinates that brought you here.
Once he finished speaking, Spiderman spoke again.
Kristoff and Princess Anna here filled us in about the current situation, and I think we know what their plans are.
Knowing he had their attention, he continued.
Everybody, eyes up here. When Ironman and I first arrived in Arendelle, we came across the scene of a massacre at the Royal Museum there.
Anna's eyes widened with shock once she learned of that fact. She was all too familiar with that place. Her father would take her and Elsa there when they were younger, and she was also friends with its director.
They were after an ancient incantation book known as the Mundus Calcator, and left 3 guards dead in their wake for it.
He quickly took a breath and remained silent a moment for the guard's honor. Then finished.
Is he not allowed to breathe during a moment of silence? Okay. After that, Ironman here did some research with his digital archives on his helmet's computer. I like the image of him like taking off his helmet and like typing in. It turns out that this book has the power to open a doorway to other worlds, and I don't think they're going through all this trouble to leave. They want to bring something here.
Eddie Brock finished his sentence for him.
Exactly, but not just anyone, in fact, but a dark lord named Tyrannus. Tyrannus? When I flew over their hideout, my microphone managed to pick up on some of their chatter.
Ironman interceded.
Sure.
Sure did. Sure did.
That was when Peter Parker, a.k.a. Spider-Man, pitched into Eddie.
Oh, huge spoilers. How could you do that?
Spitfire is surprised he could hear over all the strapped-on jetpacks.
No, he cut them off, remember? He cut them all off.
No, you said when he was flying over. Yeah, he said the microphone picked it up. He's got like a boom mic also. We're going to need all the help we can get, and apparently, so do you. What makes you think that we will trust you?
Venom shot back, to which Spider-Man answered,
Look, I know you have your problems with me, but I wasn't the one with the problem. It was you who had the problem with me. You took everything from me, Parker. It's because of you. We used to have a cat named Parker, so I'm imagining him pointing a finger at a
Just
cat.
looking sad.
You took everything from me, Parker. It's because of you that I lost my job, my apartment, respect from my peers, your health. Oh, sorry.
Christoph.
I read Christoph, but I thought Olaf. So, your health.
Unforgivable.
Christoph added, also, Iron Man's like, what, Parker, what? Christoph added in as he remembered his story from the previous night, to which Eddie pointed and said,
Thank you.
Truth be told, Eddie Brock was right on the issue. When the symbiote landed on Earth, it bonded with Spider-Man first, giving him great power on top of his own. However, the symbiote started to consume Spider-Man and influence him to do things that he himself would never have done.
Finger guns, dancing.
Including wreck Eddie's life. Once he acknowledged Christoph, Eddie lamented further.
Why couldn't you have just left me alone after I got fired? You humiliated me when you had my firing on the front page of the Daily Bulge. Sorry.
The Daily Bulge?
That was me. That was me.
Oh my god.
At a glance.
That was my bad. Bugle. Daily Bugle.
Very
Daily
different
Bugle.
paper there.
He was also on the front page of the Daily Bulge, but for unrelated reasons. You had them make a complete loser of me, calling me a joke and a nobody. Is that
Did the Daily Bugle really?
Yeah, that's the kind of reporting
Eddie Brock
they do.
is loser. Eddie Brock is joke and nobody.
Do you know what it's like to be laughed at and ridiculed by total complete strangers who only know you because they saw your picture in the city's most read newspaper? Well,
Your bulge.
the Daily Bulge. Well, you were doing everything in your power to ruin my life. Nobody even took the time to realize that it was already over.
Eddie took a breath as small a tear rolled down his face.
Wait, I've been kind of zoning in and out. Is he talking about the last day of camp?
The Daily Bulge called him a joke. That's all you need to know. Getting back his composure.
Eddie took a breath as small as the tear that rolled down his face? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe? Getting back his composure, he elaborated.
I was dying of cancer. I never told anyone because I didn't want people feeling sorry for me. I wanted to get the most out of the life that I had left, but you took that from me and more. There were nights where I laid awake contemplating suicide. I felt like the pain of living outweighed the pain of death, and I just wanted it all to end. This author, like Neil Breen, is a fan of the quadruple period ellipsis. Just want to point that
Interesting.
out.
How do we know that Breen is?
Because of I am here ... now.
I never noticed that.
Uh-huh.
This is what losing your eyesight does to you. You miss the ellipses comedy out there in the world.
Yeah.
Although she heard everything the previous night along with the rest of the group, Anna couldn't help but feel sympathy for Eddie.
Oh.
Olaf was right. He didn't become evil because he was bad. He became evil because he's misunderstood. That still makes no goddamn sense.
Like Hitler.
Eddie Brock.
Oh, still evil.
Eddie Brock was wronged in so many ways, and when the symbiote bonded with him, not only did it heal him of his cancer, but it offered him the opportunity to strike back against the society that wronged him. Feeling ashamed and even remorseful, Spider-Man took off his mask to look Eddie Brock in the eyes and said,
Look, Eddie, what I did was wrong. No one should have to go through what you did. What you did go through. Got it. If I could do it all over again, just to make it right, then I would. For what
Let me
it's
play a
worth-
Godsmack song for you.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. But I will say this, though. When I had the symbiote, it influenced me to do those horrible things, and at one point, I truly lost myself to it. But it's different with you. Although gave into your rage and hatred at first, you somehow learned to control the symbiote. There's more. When I had the symbiote, I pushed away the people I loved and cared about, and I almost lost them forever too.
Peter Parker said that with regret.
His hair changed color. It was a different style.
He then-
he cabaret
he then-
dancing. He lost
he
him to
then-
heaven.
He then pointed to Eddie and brought his point home.
Almost than it was then, but Spitfire points out, badness always leads to evil. I think that's what Yoda said famously.
We're just going to say everybody's pretty amused in the chat about Daily Bulge.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kitty says she finds them constantly under your mattress.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Based on what I've heard, it's been the exact opposite with you and the Queen. What I heard, you were able to use it to protect her, along with her family here. You did that because you love her and care for her, don't you? More than anything in this world.
Eddie responded with a slight smile.
How long Spider-Man been here that he knows the word on the street about him protecting?
I know.
Spider-Man has clearly watched Frozen, and
Okay, yes.
Okay. Exactly. The fact that you did all of that for her with the symbiote shows me that you're not a joke. You're not a nobody.
Despite what the Daily Bulge says.
Don't listen to the
believe me, I
Daily
would-
Bulge. Underneath your lust for vengeance and destruction, you're a good man, Eddie Brock. Underneath your lusty bulge.
underneath your lust for vengeance and destruction, you're a good man,
Yeah,
Charlie Brown.
This is how it works.
He's a good guy.
Just because.
so what if he threw cars at me a few times?
Yeah. So I'm asking you again. Will you please help us? If only to save Queen Elsa.
Somewhat moved by his speech, Eddie answered,
Somewhat moved.
"Yeah,
All right, I'm in.
there you go, my loyal Venomites. I hope you enjoyed this chapter and the heart-to-heart moment that Spider-Man and Venom shared. I put a lot of thought and time into this chapter, and now that Spider-Man and Iron Man have formed an alliance with Venom, things are going to get intense.
Oh boy.
Oh, and real quick while I'm thinking about it, I realized that back in Chapter 10, when Serpentine first comes into contact with the group, he threatens to kill Elsa, but later in the story, they said they weren't allowed to kill her. I just want to take this opportunity to shed some light on this.
Please.
Basically, it's true, neither he nor Carnage were allowed to kill Elsa. Serpentine was just making empty threats to scare them. Anyway, now that we got that cleared up, I feel better, lol. Until next time, Venomites.
Wait a minute. I'm confused. I'm confused. Does this author share Steve Plank's views on God? Or
We
not?
need to know.
It is the most pressing question of the day.
I'm going to leave a review. Do you or do you not share Steve Plank's views on God?
You have a legal obligation to be truthful in this matter.
Post review. That is the first review that we've officially posted on Fanfiction Theater.
Where do I click to say that review is unhelpful?
Gorbachev is going to take this down now. And we're never going to know how it ends.
Oh, God. What have I done?
I feel the need to make a statement.
Okay.
For those of you watching, I could not get that drawing to come out the way I wanted. It looked, and like I looked on the Discord and I was like, oh, from far away, that's creepy. I don't like that.
What? Wait,
So-
what
Okay.
drawing are you talking about?
Apologies.
The Elsa chained up.
Yeah.
That drawing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
it was just supposed to be a cartoon of her noticing the shackles and understanding and saying, "Ah,
Instead, it
Okay.
kind of looked like a screenshot from Hostel. And so,
Right.
yeah." So that I
Was that
didn't
not
make it
the-
work. I'm sorry. I accept full responsibility, and I will be talking to any parents that are concerned after the show.
Okay.
If you're just joining us, we're reading a story about a woman lying bruised and beaten in a dungeon.
Which is apparently a laboratory because it's too big to be a dungeon.